Alright, listen, it wasn't when I was in school, okay? I already know someone's gonna read the title and be like, bro, what the hell was wrong with your high school career? This story time takes place after high school, when I was 19, and I think you guys will enjoy it. If you do, leave a like on the video, and let's just jump right into today's story time. So today's story time is about the time of me accidentally dating one of my teachers. You're probably like, Austin, how the fuck do you date a teacher accidentally? I'm gonna tell you about it. So today's story time all starts off as a normal day in 19-year-old Luna's life. I wake up, I get out of bed. I was running late on an upload that day, so I had to finish my video quick. After that, I jumped in the shower, got ready for my day, and I was pretty much just having a normal day, right? Kind of like the one I'm having right now. I woke up late, and I'm doing a video with morning voice still. But anyway, after I showered, I jumped out of the shower, and I realized I had no food in my house whatsoever. I had nothing in my fridge besides like spoiled milk and like some water. It was not a lot of food. So I ran to the store. There was a store right up the street from where I was living at the time. Now I go up to the store. I get inside the store. I start shopping. I'm doing my thing. And I was like, okay, what do I need in my body right now? That sounded wrong. But I was like, okay, what do I need right now? I'm hungry. I want some ramen noodles. So I go to the ramen noodles section. I walk into that section. I start looking for the ramen noodles. And all of a sudden, I hear someone go, Austin, is that you? And I turn around, and it's one of my freshman teachers. She was in my math class. She was like the co-teacher. She wasn't the main teacher. But I knew her very well, and she always helped me out whenever I would have problems on work in class. So I immediately recognize her, and I'm like, oh shit, like, how you doing? And she's like, hey, like, how's it been? Like, I've heard all about your career on YouTube and stuff. Like, how have you been? What have you been up to? And me and her kind of start talking for a minute. And then in the middle of her conversation, her phone starts ringing. And she's like, okay, give me 1 minute. And she grabs her phone and she answers it. And I can tell on the phone that she was stressed out about something. Like, whoever she was talking to, she was pissed. I could just tell. So she talks to this person on the phone for like 30 seconds and ends the call by just hanging up on them. And she goes, I'm so sorry about that. Like, I'm going through a rough breakup right now. We're just kind of finalizing everything, and he's picking up his stuff at the house right now. But anyway, I want to learn more about what you've been up to, Austin. Like, let's meet up or something. I was like, yeah, anytime you want. And she's like, cool. You want to get coffee tomorrow or something? Now, when she said this, I just assumed we were just getting coffee as friends, you know, hanging out. And I guess at first that's really what it was. Like the next day when I went there and I met up with her for coffee, it was just like two friends hanging out and catching up. Like I was telling her about what my life was like at the time. She was telling me about hers. She was still teaching and stuff. And it was really nice talking to her. I felt like we were friends now instead of student and teacher. You know what I mean? So after we get done having coffee, she's like, this was so much fun. We got to hang out more. Now, once again, I read this as like, oh, she just wants to hang out because she likes me as a friend, right? Like, that's what I thought. I didn't get any other signal other than friend. So I responded, and I was like, yeah, for sure, like, anytime, like, don't be a stranger. And she's like, yeah, for sure. Well, have a great one, Austin. It was so good seeing you. And she hugs me, and she walks off to her car, and we go our separate ways. I thought that was, like, kind of going to be the end of it. I can't lie. I thought just me and my teacher caught up, got to know what was going on in each other's lives, and went on our separate ways. That's really what I thought it was. But then like a few days later, she texted me. She's like, hey, what are you doing tonight? I was like, just going to hang out, probably working on a video or something. She's like, oh, there's this awesome coffee shop that just opened down the street. They're open till like midnight. Like, it's really cool to go late at night. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Coffee shop that's open till midnight. That sounds kind of fun. I'm down. So me and her meet up at this coffee shop like an hour later. And I'm just hanging out there with her, talking at this table. And guess who walks in? One of my friends who also had the same math class as me with this teacher. And he sees me and her having coffee together. And he immediately gives me this look of like, all right, bro, I see you. And he literally texted me like 5 minutes later while he was at the same coffee shop as me. And the text just said, damn, bro, you're insane. And I responded and I was like, what do you mean, man? He's like, you're dating our old teacher. You're crazy. And I respond, I'm like, no, dude, like we're literally just friends. Like we're just hanging out. Trust me. He goes, all right, man, whatever you say. And at this point, I really did think we were just kind of friends kicking it. I mean, I guess technically we were. But after we had coffee that time and we hugged and said goodbye, I really thought that would be the end of it. I was like, okay, we hung out twice. We're cool. We're friends. I'll see her again maybe in a few months or something, right? Then fast forward like another week later, I was actually at this restaurant with one of my friends. Me and him were getting dinner at this place. Now, it wasn't the same friend that I was just talking about earlier who texted me. This was a completely different person. He didn't even know about this teacher or anything. So I'm just hanging out at this table, talking to my friend, catching up with him, and I get a text message on my phone. Guess who it's from? My old math teacher. I open it, and she goes, hey, what are you doing right now? To which I respond that I'm like, just getting dinner with one of my friends. She goes, oh, where at? And I respond with the restaurant name, and she goes, oh, I love that place. And I'm like, yeah, me too. And then she just stops responding. So I'm thinking like, okay, that's the end of that conversation. And then 20 minutes later, guess who shows up at the restaurant that I'm at with my friend? Guess who shows up by herself and looks at me at my table while I'm having dinner with my friend? My fucking teacher. So she walks in the front door. She gives me this kind of like dirty look. And I stand up and I walk over to her. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, well, you told me where you were at, so I thought I'd come say hi. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of at dinner with a friend right now. And she goes, I just want to know, what's going on between us, Austin? And that's when I was like, what? At this point, I started to kind of have thoughts of like, oh shit, like what is this? And she's like, Austin, what's going on between me and you? Like, are we friends or are we something else? What's going on? And I was like, I just thought you were my old teacher, who's also my friend now. And she goes, that's what you thought? I was like, yeah. She goes, Austin, why would I just want to hang out with you and get coffee for no reason? Like, yeah, maybe the first time I understand it, but the second time we went to a place at night and we hung out. We had a nice long conversation. It was meaningful. Like, what do you think was going to happen? I was like, I literally thought we were just hanging out as friends, like any friends do, like I'm doing right now with my friend over there. And I pointed to him and he waved at us. And she goes, Austin, I like you. I can't lie. And I was like, shit. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give any like signals that were mixed or anything. Like, I literally thought we were just getting coffee as friends. And she's like, we went on dates. Like, it was obvious. I was like, I didn't know those were dates. I thought they were just like hanging out, getting coffee as friends, like I just said. And she's like, whatever, fine. I guess I know now what you want and what I want are two different things. And I was like, I'm sorry. She goes, it's okay. And she gives me a huge hug, turns around, and walks out the door. To which I am left with just nothing but confusion. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And I was also sad because like the coffee thing that we were doing was actually a lot of fun. We were having a lot of fun and she seemed like a cool friend to have. So it was pretty upsetting when she walked away and I knew that I'd probably never hang out with her again as a friend. So anyway, after this, I walked back to my table and my friend's like, what just happened? I was like, well, man, that was my old math teacher who I'd been hanging out with recently. And I guess that she thought we were going on dates and I thought we were just hanging out as friends. And he goes, well, what do you mean? Like, what were you guys doing? I was like, just getting coffee. He's like, where at? And I told him both coffee shops. He's like, oh yeah, man, those are like first date spots for sure. Like, I took 2 of my first dates there once. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, man. I was like, bro, they're just coffee shops. Like, you can go there as friends or on a date. Like, I didn't know it was specifically a date to her. He's like, yeah, man, well, I mean, at least you're in the clear now, right? I was like, yeah. So after this, I leave that restaurant and I go home and I actually call up one of my friends, that same friend who I saw at the coffee shop that one night. And I was like, hey, man, that teacher thought that we were on a date and I thought that we were just friends. And he's like, yeah, man, honestly, you guys looked like you were having a good time. I thought you guys were on a date too. I was like, shit, man, am I giving people mixed signals? Like, what's going on? He's like, I don't know, man. Guess you're a heartbreaker. I was like, shut the fuck up. He's like, anyway, want to hang out soon? I was like, yeah, for sure. So I hung out with him after that. Hung out with him for like a couple hours. And pretty much the rest of that week was pretty normal after that. I didn't hear from my teacher. I did text her and say sorry because I still felt bad about that. But like, I guess I accidentally went on dates with my teacher and not known it. Now, like I said, to me, it wasn't really a date. But to her, I guess it was. So just a whole ridiculous situation that I thought was really, really, really just insane and kind of funny. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I haven't seen her since or talked to her. But I learned a valuable lesson about this. It was to pay better attention to things in the future and really like analyze every situation that I'm in carefully. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this story time. Moral of the story is try not to lead people on, even though I didn't do it on purpose. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.
Even the night you be wanting to fight. When I pull up, you see it's like, oh shit. Cut all these ties cause they plan my demise. They all snakes and I think it's been showing. I got some issues, they haunting me daily. I'm losing my mind and I know